it's been a productive summer for those guys and I think our basketball team and for our program because I think you can't buy that kind of exposure. Those guys getting a chance to go and participate in those camps, the big man camp that Bobby went to, and the feedback I'm getting that he did what Bobby does. And he's a big time motor, and for a guy that size, uh, really run the floor, and I think they were impressed with his skill level. So that tells me that those guys are continuing to get better and going in those kind of environments to, I guess, to compare themselves against some of the better players in the country. Mike went to the Kevin Durant's camp, and in those camps, I guess your performance will get you to the LeBron camps, and we saw that both of those guys got into those camps. So I think just from a standpoint of off season, when you talk about making strides, I think those guys had a chance to go and participate in those camps. And not only that, the individual workouts we had here as well. And we did a lot of development stuff with our guys, with our team. And we had everyone here for the second session of summer school, had everybody here. And I think that's going to pay big for our basketball team. So they're getting familiar with one another. They're pushing each other. I like the competition. I mean, the young guys with Trey Thompson coming in here, getting acclimated to the weight, strength and conditioning program. I think that's big. Anton Beard, that's big for him coming here. Jabril Durham, all those guys. Nick Babb, he graduated late, so he came in and at the second session. I think he was the only one that didn't participate during the first summer session. So we've got a lot of guys to get in and get some individual workout and development, and just try to get ready for year 4. This is year 4. It's a big year. I say that every year, but even more so because familiarity, I think, is so important. We got more guys now that are coming back that are very familiar with what we're going to be about, what our brand is, in terms of how we do things culturally, on the floor, off the floor, being really involved in our community, but at the same time playing at the highest level. And so we'll use the experiences from last year, and I think our guys, they really had a good summer. They had a really good summer, and this is the last week of summer school right now.
In what ways do you feel like Bobby has improved and gotten better?
I think if you look at his body, I think his body's changing. First of all, he's growing. I mean, the guys, I think they measure him almost 6'10 and a half, 6'11", in his shoes. He's growing. And of course, we've got a new strength and conditioning coach in Adam Petway. And I think he's doing a great job of really pushing these guys in the weight room. This is when some of those gains are made during the off season. And Bobby, as well as our other guys, I think when they go in that weight room, they're competing. They're working extremely hard to get better in all different areas. So I think from a physical standpoint, I think the speed of the game that we talk about, that we play at, things start slowing down for guys, and I can see the maturity in Bobby and from that standpoint, as well as you guys got a chance to talk to him. I mean, you can see he's a lot more comfortable sitting in front of you guys. So that's and hopefully that's going to be the statement of our whole team. We're a lot more mature in what we do and how we go about our business.
How about the ball side? How was this summer? What do you think he's going to be able to do this year that maybe he didn't do last year?
Well, he built on what took place last year. I thought last year we saw coming out of Michael Qualls. We all knew he was a tremendous athlete, and I think we saw some of the skilled things that he brings to the table. And now it's just a matter of him getting better and being more consistent. He started off the non-conference season with a bang and got into conference play, he struggled. And why? Because the play gets a little bit more physical, guys are familiar with you. And so that means you got to up your game. And so we're looking forward to him. He had an opportunity to go and participate in those camps. Not only that, but I just think the every day of working out here. We got some gym rats. These guys here, there are days when the courts may be covered up, and, I mean, they're chasing the coaches down, hey, we need to get in the gym. And so for a coach, that's music to your ears when you got guys that are gym rats. Not only just 2 or 3 guys. I'm talking about all 15 guys. And so that's something that hadn't happened around here in a while. I recall the days I was here. I mean, you got the Pat Bradleys, the Kareem Reeds, the Scotty Thurman. Those guys, they love to be in the gym. Yes, he was an assistant with Coach Dietz, and so he was a guy that we elevated him up. I think he has some stints at Maryland. He's doing a good job. Doing a good job.
What was it about him that made you want to promote him and go ahead and get started?
Well, I took my time on it. When David resigned, I took my time on it and just had a chance to visit with a lot of other strength and conditioning coaches and getting input from different people. You know how it is when a job opens up. But the thing that I like about Adam was his passion, his drive. He's got a tremendous relationship with our guys, and that's the thing you worry about. You got to be the coach. You can't just be the friend. But I think he's a guy that can push him and motivate him, and of course I think David did a tremendous job for us, and I think he did a good job of mentoring this young man. And but I love his passion. I mean, he eats, sleeps, he lives it. I mean, this guy, he's up here. First thing in the morning, he's the last one to leave, and so I think he individualizes with our guys, and they can relate to him, and I think that's so important. But he can get them in and get them to do things in there. That I'm not a strength coach. I'm not a weight coach. That's not what I am. But I do know people, and he's an instinctive guy, and he's in tune to what I'm all about.
How's it going for Trey Thompson working with Bobby and Moses and Corey and these guys like?
Well, with the 2 hours a week, and for 8 weeks that we have the individual workouts, I get a chance to see some of that, and that's the beauty of having an opportunity to work with these guys during the summer. I think it's been very beneficial for Trey. Come out of high school, he playing with guys that he probably blocked their shots with his armpits, and so now he's going to get some bigger bodies and a lot faster, quicker, and and there are some days when he struggles with that, but then there are some days when he picks his moment where he's kind of stepping up. So I just think from a standpoint, what took place for him this summer, what's going to take place when we start practicing, that's where you're going to see the strides of a guy like Trey Thompson. He's being exposed to some bigger bodies, and one thing I love about him, he won't back down. Has a great pair of hands, got soft hands, good footwork, and he's got a motor. He wants to be a good player, can really rebound the basketball, and a tremendous passer, and he's just going to get better.
Either of your new point guards kind of taking charge at all?
I think Jabril and you're talking about Anton and Jabril. I think they fit what we're doing. I think it's easy to put them out there, and I think they get a feel for what's taking place. Familiarity is what they're doing right now. Get familiar with all the different players we have. The different weapons we have. Let's say a guy like Bobby or a guy like Moses. I mean, we got guards now, I think, that can create and put those guys in position where they can just finish off plays. Big guys love playing with players like that. So we talk about the unselfishness. I think this team will continue to be an unselfish team, and it'll be fun to watch. And so I'm excited about those guys being added to what we already have.
How does Tyler playing off of the This is maybe a two?
Well, I think what it's going to do is, I've had a chance to watch a lot of the tape from this past year, and Kai did a lot of things for us. He had to do a lot of things for us, and sometimes things didn't work out because he had to do too much. But now you got some help along the way, and now he can be a guy that can be in the off-guard position or even manage the point. I mean, but I think the beauty of it is that now he don't have to try to create for others and as well as himself. I think that's going to be the biggest difference. Defensively, it's going to still be what we hang our hats on, and I think he's going to have to get better in those areas. But he led us in scoring, led us in assists. He probably was maybe third in steals with our basketball team. So he did a lot for our basketball team. And so I think this year we look for him to take another step. But having some other guards that can man the point, especially when you need something to. You got to get somebody in sets. You got to make plays. I think we have some other guys, and now it puts him on the wing. Now I think you got a double threat. You got a triple threat when you're talking about the guards that we have now.
Do you feel like everything's set up for you guys to go to the tournament this year and get become an instant regular like Arkansas used to?
I think this here is when you talk about the influx of guys coming back, guys that have played. I mean, this is the first year that we've had, first of all, most of the guys that fit what I'm doing, you know. So from that standpoint, this probably would be our best team that we feel from top to bottom. And I'm talking about, you're talking about players, let's say like Manuel Watkins. Manuel has improved so much, and he's going to be instrumental in what we do this next year coming up. So when I talk about our depth, that's the thing I'm really excited about. The last 2 workouts last week, we just kind of split the teams up and just kind of let them scrimmage. And I just sat away from them, just kind of watched them. And the thing I noticed more so that hasn't taken place was just the competitive nature. Without even the coach around, they had a competitiveness about them, and it didn't matter who was in the game. And we're talking about, let's say, Anton Bell. You know, I'm looking for Anton to have a very, very good year for us. He's a much different player. Like I say, as you get the experience, the game slows down for you. Ja'Cory Williams, he's a guy that has some outstanding workouts. So I keep talking about different parts and different pieces. Moses Kinsley has gotten better. So it's this team here is I like this team, and I like it a lot.
Have you got the schedule finalized or anything?
We're still working on some things. We obviously, you guys know the Wake Forest game is here, and we got a date with Dayton here. And then, of course, the games that are already away. SMU. Who else we got? Got at Clemson return game in Iowa State, so we're already familiar with those. But we're getting close to finishing up in our schedule, and it would be a dandy one. It'd be one of the tougher schedules that we've had. But I thought our schedule was really good last year. So the bottom line is you got to win games. That's the bottom line. So, but with this team and with the schedule, I think it sets up for an outstanding year.
I think I'm counting 7 guys here from the state of Arkansas, which I think is more than you've had in a while. Is that a good thing for the program?
Without a doubt. You know, I talked to Coach Richardson and we talk a lot about that. And when you can have the players that fit what you're doing, especially in your state, that makes it so much. You know, those kids, they know what it is to be from Arkansas, to play for Arkansas, and all that. I think they fit what we're doing. The newcomers coming this year: Trey Thompson, Anton Beard. Those are the guys you're talking about. But Kai Madden. Alandis Harris, who's going to be a 5th-year senior. I mean, we talk about all these guys, and we're talking about Alandis Harris, who was, I think, 2nd leading scorer coming back this year. That's why, to me, the depth of this basketball team. And so we've got our work cut out for us in terms of getting them prepared. But I think the pride kicks in there, Grant, when you talk about guys from our state that want to be here and want to. They've had a chance to see this program or know about the history of the program, and they want to get it back to where it should be.
How did the end of last year drive you guys to the focus?
When I look back over this past year, I just look at the almost. You know, we were so close. We were plays away from having a really, really special year, and so we take that experience, and this year will be a special year. We want to make a special year. We've got 2 seniors in Kai Madden and Alandis Harris. So when you look at the overall body of this basketball team, we're still maybe not young, but we're not an old team. You only got 2 seniors on this basketball team.
You mentioned Coach Richardson. I assume you guys are taking a big contingent up to Springfield. Could you talk about your thoughts on that? How much you're looking forward to that?
I tell you what, it's and correct me if I'm wrong, but he would be the first one from this university going to the Naismith Hall of Fame. Am I correct? Bob, you know that, right?
Yeah, I wrote that.
Is that is true?
I hope it's right.
Okay, but I mean that's history in itself. I mean you talk about the basketball program, how long it's been around, and he's the first one. That's major. I can't say it enough. Obviously, I've had a chance to be on that ride, from a NJCA championship, NIT championship, and a national championship at Arkansas. And I tell you what, I'm honored. I'm just to know him and to have worked with him, to play for him. And I just think as a former player, when I look up and see him being enshrined into the Hall of Fame. That's words cannot even describe it. I mean, your heart just goes for Coach Richardson because I mean he's meant so much to not only me as an individual, but to all the players that have played for him. But to see him honored in such a way, no one's more deserving. And so I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to going up. We got a great contingent going up, and it'll be his day. And I hope all the state of Arkansas, all Razorback fans are looking forward to it and feel blessed to have Coach Richardson, going into the Hall of Fame and as being our coach here.
Yeah, Pat Bradley's going to the Hall of Honor, I guess, in September, August, whenever, I think September. What are your thoughts about that for Pat?
Well, for a guy that comes from Everett, Massachusetts, that's a big honor, and Pat would probably be the first to say that. For him to come and do the things he did here at the university. Not only that, he came. He hadn't left yet. He's one of the few sports talk hosts that has that. I don't know what kind of accent he got now. I think it's a combination of Yankee, Southern. I don't know what you call it, but he's. I think he called himself the shooter. But the shooter he's done great, and I'm excited for him. You just see all the little branches that Coach Richardson has established with those kind of guys. Scotty Thurman. I ran the Corliss Williamson this weekend out in Las Vegas, coaching his son. I mean, so when I go out and see that tells you, what you're doing. Coach has done some great things, and but I'm happy for Pat. I really am. Well, Keaton, of course, Keaton was a guy that sat out last year, and so he's. I think he's done well. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be very similar to what Cody gave us. He's going to be a glue guy, a screener, a rebounder, a shot blocker, a slasher, and he's hungry, and so that even makes the competition even much better. The shot blocker, so he's had a good summer. He's been healthy for the most part, and he's looking forward to this year. It's a good addition for us. I think we got a lot of guys, a lot of blue-collar guys. Guys can fit in, and hopefully that means we got some depth. I think we can get as big as we want to, we can get as small as we want to, and we can still have the skill guys out there. So this is, again, this team here, I'm really liking it, and this summer. I even liked them even more after this summer. They've done all the things that I've asked of them. I even challenged them for the last 5 weeks to make 500 shots a day. That's 2,500 shots a week. And that means at the end of 5 weeks, I think you got like 12,500, if my math serves me right, Bob. Check that out. But, yeah, I know. But those guys, it's a Razorback challenge, and every week I read off what these guys have done, and I got guys making 3,000 shots a week, and hopefully there'll be some carryover. They're making them now, but hopefully there'll be some carryover once we get to the season. But go ahead. Go ahead, Otis.
You talked about Jabril. How's the transition been for him? I mean, I know you talked about that a little bit. What are his strengths?
Well, Jabril, I really think he's going to be one of the real bright spots when you're talking about a guy that's already played a couple of years of basketball, coming from Seminole Junior College. I think his strength is that he's a guy that can create for others. He can create shots for other people. I think he's one of those guys that command a leadership. I mean, he talks. He won't back down from anybody, and he can set big guys up. And I think now, when you start penetrating and they cover that up, now you got a guy that can knock shots down. I think he can go off the dribble. He's just a little complete guard. Just does a little bit of everything, and got a little toughness about him. I mean, he won't back down from anybody. But I think his experience is going to be big for this basketball team. There are sometimes I call glue guys, and I think Jabril is one of those glue guys that he can do a lot of different things that's going to bring a lot of people together. And that's going to be important with this basketball team. We got some good pieces, And sometimes you always got to have a common thread to bring all those guys together. And hopefully, he'll be one of those guys, along with a guy like Beard, along with a guy like Kai Matt. We've got some experienced guys now that have been in the wars of the SEC and know what it takes. And so we're going to have to lean on those guys' experience to help, get these guys caught up to speed on what's going to take place. But Jabril, it's going to be a good player for us.
But Bobby said he actually was 6'10" and a half or 6'11" in his socks without his shoes, so I guess he's gonna be about 7 feet. I mean, can a couple inches make a big difference in terms of blocking the shot or getting the shot over the guy? I mean, is there a big difference between a 6'9" guy and a 6'11" or 7 foot?
I think it just matter how you use it. I mean, you look at Moses, you think Moses has probably a 7-foot wingspan, 7'1" wingspan. And he's pretty athletic. He's got impeccable timing. And so it just matters how you use it. It's just like a guy can go and lift in the weight room. You can lift all you want to. But how do you play? Do you play strong? Do you use it to your advantage? I mean, there's guys that look good, and then they go out there. So that's going to be the interesting thing to see. But I think, Bobby, I think you can legitimately say, to me, he's 6'10", 6'11". I really, really do. And I just see, you can see the size and the growth. And as you progress in this game, it's all about confidence too. I think his confidence right now, those guys that went to that camp, I think they're very, very confident in what they're doing. The season that Kai Madden had last year, I'm sure that he comes back with a lot of confidence in this year. Landis Harris, a year he was trying to figure some things out. Now Cody has moved on, and now is an opportunity for him to step into that role. But right behind them, you got some hungry guys, man. Keaton Miles. I mean, you talk about those guys that are coming off, the newcomers that are coming in here. So that's the part that excites me. Jabril Durham. That's the part that excites me.
I've got time for one more. How's the basketball practice facility doing? Is it on schedule? And how do you feel about driving up every day and seeing a little bit more work done?
Well, I've been going a week, and it's good to look out there and see that you got space for 2 more gyms, and the beams keep going up. And I guess as the beam goes up, pretty soon some brick and mortar will be going up. So that's exciting. I would imagine with the weather that we're having, that's a good sign to see, especially when you get into the fall. You start bringing recruits in, and but nothing else. It would be much more better would be when you get the building built in itself for next year. So, but from what I know is everything is moving at a really good pace.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,